Hello again. Welcome to another episode of Bard Brunch. As per usual, I am Jenny. I am perpetually exhausted right now from overworking myself. I have had a full body ache for 3 weeks and I don't fully know why. Anyway, today we're going to be talking to the American Shakespeare Center. I am so excited to talk to them about all of their stuff. Before we get into any of that, I'm going to be making a Witches Brew cocktail. I'm also going to be making some eggs. That way I don't just have only cocktail in my system while trying to do an interview with someone. Cocktail's gonna be super simple and easy though. It's gonna be great. I'm using this super cute green little wine glass here for sour grapes. Oh, is my name not up? Can we get into the hold on, I can do it. I can do it. I'm smart. I can do it. Yeah, I can do it from here. Yes, I did it on my phone. Hooray for me. All right, great. I think that was taken down because my StreamYard is actually being used for the Players Theater B-Bowl Productions Short Play Festival, which happened Friday and yesterday and is also happening again next week. So they probably just took that down so it didn't have like Players Theater in big letters at the bottom. Anyway, first thing we're going to do with this is we're going to add some of my favorite Moscato wine in here. I have a big old box over here. I love my boxed wine. But it's dangerous because then I can just go into my fridge and get boxed wine whenever I want to. Next, we're going to be adding the last of my kinky blue liqueur. I love this stuff. It tastes amazing. Tastes amazing on its own. Tastes great as part of a thing. Look at that. Just going to put you in my sink for right now so I can recycle you later. All right. So here's where we're at so far. Nice, fun time. I'm gonna add a little bit of a dash of. I still have some Kraken rum left over from when I made a Tempest cocktail a few weeks back. Just like a little splash. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. And then my pineapple juice. Just add some tropical flavor in there because you know witches. They're always talked about being in like a forest or something, but like, can I have a witch on vacation, please? They work so hard. They deserve a little life by the sea. And before I mix that together, what I'm gonna be doing, because it's this lovely green color right now, and it is so cute and pretty, as witchiness is. But the super fun thing is you can change it from green to purple with your Fancy Sprinkles Prism Powder. In what color is this? Amethyst purple. Ho-ho! I'm just gonna add a splash and dash of that. I'm gonna add more than that. Just kidding. You know how much I love my edible butter, y'all. So there's that. Gonna mix it together. Yes, and now let's like, what's giving me this like deep green effect with purple sparkles in it, which I really like. It might be hard for y'all to see there, but like, look at this. Yes, it's the sour grapes colors. Yes. So yeah, it's this like swirly, mystical orb kind of nonsense, which I love. You know, I love crazy nonsense like that. Witches need vacay too. Yes. All right. So yeah, that was super fast. That was super easy. I'm going to blather away a little bit about this past week's events while I make some eggs. So again, I have something to absorb all of it. Let me taste this first, actually. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm going to need something to absorb that. Woo! All right. My little baby frying pan. It's a granite stone. I love this thing. It's like super non-stick, so I don't even have to spray anything if I don't want to, which is great. Because one of the last times I tried to spray something on this show, my apartment almost caught fire. All right. So first thing we're going to be doing, obviously, adding some eggs in true Jenny fashion. I'm going to take one from here and one from here, so that way it's not super difficult for me to lift up later. Still is proportional. You can actually still like, I don't know. I just hate that thing that always happens with eggs where it becomes super lopsided and then when you try and pick it up later you're like, whoa, like a cartoon or an infomercial. Right, I'm just gonna crack an egg. And I'm going to crack another one. Because this girl's hungry. Woof, that is a hot pan. I'm going to turn you down a little bit. Even though you're on like the lowest setting already. But that was hurting my fingies. All right. And I'm just going to, while you're in here, just whisk you while you're in here. Because why ruin a bowl? Less dishes. It's just nice. All right. You're going to be here for right now. I'm going to add some mozzarella cheese in there. Again, the more I have to soak up my Witches Brew cocktail, the better I'm just going to be at this interview. This is great. Speaking of interviews, has anyone caught the Players Theater Short Play Festival Week 1? Did I sound like a crazy person interviewing all of the other shorts? I'm really proud of how my short went, of course. I'm really proud of how my short went. For those who don't know, it was not at all supposed to go the way that it did. Our lead actor had a conflict the night of our mandatory festival-given tech rehearsal, so we had to rearrange real fast. Kevin Gonzalez, who was a smaller part in the show, was bumped up last minute to a larger role. Go Kevin, Kevin's best. And then Saturday, who I work with all the time, and is also Kevin's partner, and also, hold on, and is also in Punchline Loading with Kevin. Saturday actually created Punchline Loading. It's a whole wonderful time. But yeah, Saturday had been running lines with Kevin for what was Kevin's part, so Saturday was very easily able to step into that role. And we had a great, amazing time. And then I interviewed all of the other wonderful shorts in the festival, which I will be doing again next week with my same cast, but in a different show. And then yesterday, we actually went to Acme Studios, which was a great time, to turn it into a short film, which I will be editing this week. Yes. All right. All right, eggs. Eggs a go-go. Also, another fun part of last week's festivities, my show, as a prop, needed 2 ketchup bottles. I wanted them to be glass because I had to make labels over top of them, and it's just easier to make the ones that go over top of the glass Heinz things as opposed to the plastic ones, because they're a weird shape that I don't know how to print out. But I could only find hot sauce, so I just had 2 hot sauce bottles that I printed out logos for. Thank you, Canva, for that. And now I have a bunch of hot sauce left over, so I'm gonna put some hot sauce on my eggs. Yeah. The least aesthetically pleasing eggs in the world with the most aesthetically pleasing cocktail in the world. Let's give you another zhuzh so that people can see if they're just joining now. Ooh, yes, you're gorgeous. I want to add more glitter to you. Why not? Why not? It's my show. It's my digestive tract. I can add more edible glitter if I want to. Now that it's settled. Listen, someday the Vino is going to have a bar attached to it, and most of our specialty cocktails are going to come with edible glitter. That is a guarantee, all right? Yeah. Oh, what a beaut. What a beaut. All right. So while I go set up all of this lovely good nonsense onto my kitchen set, please enjoy a little preview of who I'll be talking to today. The American Shakespeare Center. Hooray!
From the outside, American Shakespeare Center's Blackfriars Playhouse looks pretty much like it always has. But opening the Playhouse to the public in the age of coronavirus means nothing is as simple as it used to be. Our performance troupe has been rehearsing in a self-isolated bubble since early June, and right now we're working every day to prepare the Playhouse for your return. This includes enhanced deep cleaning routines, regular sanitization of high-touch surfaces, and the continuous disinfection of shared spaces. We're producing this season using our ASC Safe Start protocols, an evolving program of layered mitigations designed in partnership with our regional healthcare providers to lower the risk factors of viral transmission for actors, staff, and audiences. You see, to succeed, ASC Safe Start depends on each of us prioritizing the health and safety of the person next to us. We've removed more than 60% of our seats, limiting the audience to fewer than 120 total persons sitting at an appropriate social distance. And we'll practice universal masking for all patrons and staff. We can't wait to welcome you back to the Blackfriars Playhouse for summer 2020.
When it takes away the night, and you're about the same, baby, when you tell me that you're alright. You made up with my body, and you're poisoning my mind, but I know I have your love, and you know that you always have mine. So just
Yay! Please welcome to the program the American Shakespeare Center! Yay! Hello! Hello!
Hello.
How are you doing this fine day?
Great. How about you?
Super good. I'm exhausted, but great. For the audience at home, please tell them who you are and how you are related to the American Shakespeare Center.
Yeah. My name is Ben Steinhauer, and I'm the video projects manager at the American Shakespeare Center.
Yes, we love a video projects manager on the program. So obviously that means you manage the video projects, but what
Yes.
exactly does that entail in this digital age?
Well, when the pandemic hit, we pretty quickly realized that we needed to switch to virtual programming. And so a team of about 12 filmmakers, including myself, showed up to the Playhouse and filmed 7 productions in 5 days. And like very quickly filmed all of that before things shut down even more. So that was really the beginning of our virtual work in that we had ever done. It was my kind of first entry into the company. And then it just continued to grow. So now we've pretty much committed to filming and having at least a virtual aspect to every single production that we do. And so my job is to oversee that, work with the artistic team, and make sure that what we're putting out is the work that we want to be putting out. You know, sometimes that's working with professional film crews, so it's managing those relationships, and sometimes we're doing it in-house. So it's figuring out how we can put out the best product possible.
I love that. Were there any hurdles that you weren't expecting to jump over for switching from in-person shows to digital events?
That's a good question. I think that part of it, the challenge, honestly, part of it was that everyone was trying to go digital at that time. So, you know, we had gear that we ordered and it took 6 months to arrive because everyone wanted to go digital right then. And I don't know that we necessarily thought that that would be the case. And also, we didn't really have the time to like stop and think about how exactly we wanted to go digital. We just needed to do it. So I think that there's also a bit of a challenge in like, yeah, we're proud that we put out stuff quickly, and also we kind of continuously know that we can do better. So it's a matter of trying to do really high quality work while realizing like we don't really have time to stop and think about it. We just like hit the ground sprinting and haven't really stopped.
Well, that's great. I love that you went in almost even before, well, like right before all the shutdowns happened, you're like, we got to do this.
Yeah.
Let's just do this.
Yeah.
Let's just make it happen. I love that energy. I love that vibe. So many people were really stalling on jumping on the digital platforms, and you guys were like, no, let's do this right now.
Yeah.
What's something that you think might even work better now that we are in a digital format as opposed to the before times?
Well, I don't know the exact numbers, but a large portion of our audience who has seen our digital productions have never seen an ASC show before. So in that way, we're reaching a brand new audience and finding people and putting our works in front of them and exposing them to the work that we do. And that wouldn't have happened without this happening. So it's our hope now that we can maintain that kind of digital audience far and wide. We've had people on 6 continents see our show. And not a lot of people can get to rural Virginia to come see our shows. So in that way, we have a much bigger reach than we've had before. And I think that's exciting when you think about access and who can engage with our work.
Yeah, absolutely. I know for a fact that my grandmother, who lives in Morgantown, West Virginia, not Virginia, but the other one, she's seen way more of my work this year, this past like 2020 and this year than she ever has before, because she just wasn't able to make it to New York. So yeah, the fact that we're able to show people all over the place our work now is insane. And it's something that I don't think a lot of us even fully thought of when we were creating digital theater. We're like, yeah, we just need to get our audiences and like the people who support us, but no, we're getting everyone. And that's so amazing. I'm so glad that you guys are seeing success with that as well. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah. Do you have any projects coming up that you are super, super excited about?
Well, we're working towards our Actors Renaissance summer. So we are, the Actors Renaissance season is something that we've done for quite a while. I believe this is going to be our 16th or 17th year doing it. And so basically we take our actors and remove traditional designers and directors from the room, and our actors put up the shows in the style of Shakespeare's company. So I think that there's some really exciting potential for streaming and filming productions without traditional directors and designers in the room. And so taking the streaming and filming piece of what we're doing and putting that also in the hands of the actors, in addition to all the other things that they're doing. So I'm excited to see what comes out of that.
Yes, I love that. I'm so excited to hear that that is still happening, just now in a different-ish format. One thing that I always ask all of my guests, we go on a bit of a tangent here, but it's something that we all talk about, either just like after the show at a bar, or like there's one person who brings it up and then everyone's stories come out. We all have our horror stories. One of my film horror stories, back when I was predominantly working background, back in way before times, I worked background for like 5 years to make a living, as opposed to doing regular person jobs, because I was a crazy person and I didn't know what sleep was. It was the Nick, actually, and I almost worked on the Nick, except for when they brought me to set and they put me in my little costume, my little corset, and it was like 5 a.m. They put me in my corset, and my waist was down to 18 inches, which is 10 less than my actual waist. And I fully passed out, just fully passed out. Woke up kind of in my regular clothes again. They just wanted to make sure that the costume was off of me. And then I had to go to the hospital, and that's where I spent most of my day. And it was a strange, horrifying, weird time. One of my funnier, of course, on stage horror stories, because again, so they run the gamut from like nightmare inducing to, oh, okay, that's a little funny. Back when I was in high school, it was my freshman year, and I was doing stage crew for the fall straight play production, and it was all about a funeral, and it was like campy and fun, but it was also like a funeral. And for some reason, every single time during opening night, when the spotlight would come on, it came on like a half a second too early. And I'd always be bent over putting something down. So basically, the spotlight just followed my butt for the entire opening performance of this show. And I was a little 14-year-old girl freaking out the entire time. So those are two of mine. If you have any horror stories, please feel free to share with the class.
Well, let's see. One of the challenges when we first started was, like I said, a group of about 10 filmmakers just volunteered their time and just showed up at the Playhouse to film these 7 shows in 5 days, which was really an exciting experience. And honestly, that's where we got a lot of our style kind of figured out. The first show that we filmed was not nearly as good as the second and third and fourth and all of those sorts of things. But one of the challenges was we didn't really have the right gear. So these are people just like showing up with their DSLR cameras that they happen to have. And so the hardest part was like, do we have enough batteries to go for the whole show? And so like there were just batteries plugged in all over the Playhouse. And if you ran out, you just took your battery out and ran over, put it on the charger and took the one off the charger. So we were like doing math, like, okay, I think this one is 25% charged. Hopefully we can get up to 50% charged by the time my battery dies. And it was the same thing with memory cards. By the end, we had plenty of memory cards, but it was just constantly like, let's hope everyone's camera doesn't die at the same time. And if so, I don't quite know what we're going to do. So that was interesting.
And just having to do math on the fly like that, I know I can never handle it, but it's always just an added layer of pressure of like, and I need to make sure that this doesn't run out by the time that we are at this point in the show, because that is when I'm going to switch out with another person. That's always just an added layer of stress. I'm very happy that you managed to make it work, but whoo, that must have been a lot.
Yeah, it was kind of funny too, because by the time the shows had been edited and were released, we had built up a pretty good body of work, and it was like right during the first bit of COVID, and so everyone was at home, so we were getting lots of views on it. And so I'm not at all saying that we weren't proud of the work we did, but it was just very funny to realize like, wow, like I know I totally missed that shot because I was busy like getting a new battery. I'm glad someone else picked it up.
Yes!
And we've kind of grown since then to having better stuff. The other challenge is that our theater is a recreation of Shakespeare's indoor playhouse, and so there's not power outlets everywhere. We didn't know where the internet port was. Turns out it's in the lobby. So like we're not situated like a normal theater where there's internet and power and audio routing and all this stuff all over the place. So it's one of the challenges was just like, okay, we want to live stream something. Where does the internet come from? Like we didn't quite know, so, and still every time we live stream something, we're running hundreds of feet of internet cable from the lobby into the Playhouse. So it's just, we have a system now, but figuring all of that out in a room where nobody ever intended us to do that was very interesting.
Oh, I'm sure. Even just in a lot of New York theaters that were these converted like big brick buildings that barely get a data signal at all. Now we all have to have Wi-Fi in there. So I totally feel that pain right away.
Yeah. There were some moments early on in our live streams. It was like, all right, let's turn off our phones just to be safe. Like we don't need anyone else really clogging up the internet. But now we have a pretty good system. So that's nice.
That's good. Growth, adaption, yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite project that you've worked
on? Well, so over the summer, as we successfully filmed all these shows in March of last year, over the summer we were doing our Safe Start season, so we were working hard on reopening. During that time, we decided that we wanted the ability to live stream on our own. So we didn't want to always have to have a professional film crew to live stream for us. We wanted to have the ability to do it on our own. So we spent a lot of time working on building out this system where we could have a 3-camera setup and live stream any performance. So at that time, we were also having in-person audiences in the Playhouse. So it was a matter of not only, when we were filming all of those shows, it was just like, we can be anywhere, we can set up our gear anywhere. So it was a matter of like figuring out, okay, what seats can we take? What seats can't we take? How many seats can we take? Especially when it's socially distant seating, every seat is really valuable. So over the summer, we ended up building out a system that we now have where we live streamed every Friday throughout the fall to a college somewhere in the States. And so that was really cool because we weren't filming one performance and then sharing it. We were live streaming that particular performance, and it was very, it only happens once. This, if there's a mishap, it's in there. You're gonna see it. You take the same intermission that the audience takes. It was just, in a way, it was kind of like raw and not really, not as polished as some of the rest of the work that we've done. We were literally sitting in the Playhouse, like live switching between the cameras. And that was really exciting because it felt like we kind of caught the essence of what our company tries to do. And kind of going back to like our Actors Renaissance season and just putting talented people in the room and seeing what can happen. And so I really loved those live streams because it was ephemeral. It was, and it was to a direct audience. We could see them in the chat. They could respond to us. So we would like feed their chat responses to the stage managers to tell the actors at intermission. It was just really cool because it felt like, even though this audience was very far away, it was the closest that I've felt to them being in the room with us.
That is so cool. I really love that you guys did that. That is so much fun. Wow.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And it was also nice because the same crew was live streaming each of these productions. We were doing 12th Night and Othello in rep. So we were doing 12th Night one week and Othello the next. And I think one day we even did like a matinee of Othello and then came back and did an evening performance of 12th Night. So we got to know the show really well. And so in a way, it felt like the camera operators and the person directing the broadcast were like part of the performance troupe, and we're learning what choices they're making and knowing like, oh, they did this the other night. I really hope we catch it. Hey, can you make sure your camera's pointed at that? So it was continuously refining what we were doing over the course of an entire season. So by the end of it, we kind of grew into how to live stream this show in a really elegant way, along with, our audiences experiencing it in person.
That is magnificent. I don't think I've actually talked to a company yet that's done a live stream of the same live show multiple times throughout a season. So that's really interesting. That is so cool. Wow. Yeah,
it was really neat. And our final live stream of the season was our annual gala, where we had a bunch of donors come in and we had, a socially distant like gala beforehand, and then they came in and a lot of people were watching online. So we had a moment where the virtual audience could see the in-person audience could see the virtual audience projected onto the wall, and then we went into the live stream of the performance. So that was really cool because for like just a moment, everyone was together, and then we all experienced this production together. And that was the final performance of the season. So it was like the culmination of everything that we had been doing for the past, 4 months, which was really exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, and I love that you got to show the audiences to each other. That's so cool. That's so cool. Is there anything in your upcoming Renaissance production that you're like super excited for the audiences to see?
Well, we haven't started rehearsing them yet. So I'm excited for the content. I'm excited for what the actors are going to come up with, and I'm trying to reserve my choices about how we should go about streaming it and how we should go about filming it, and just trying to make those choices along with the actors as they put the show together. So I'm excited for them, but I'm trying to reserve the excitement to make the choices with them in the room.
Do you think digital theater is gonna go away as soon as the world reopens, or do you think it's gonna stick around for a while?
I don't think it's going to go away. We've said that we are committing to being members of the physical and digital realm for the foreseeable future. And so I I don't think it's going to go away. But what I will say is that I overheard someone over the summer who was at one of our outdoor productions, and they said, "Yeah, I've seen Othello online, but I can't wait to go in person because I don't want someone telling me where to look. I want to decide where to look." And so I think that that kind of hits at the heart of what we're hoping to do, which is saying seeing it in person is always going to be the first rate experience. We cannot replicate that. We cannot replicate you being in the room and, have your experience watching it on your couch or on your laptop or wherever you watch it be the same thing as being in the room. And I think in a way we're not trying to, but we're trying to provide another experience that didn't exist before. And that's, if we can continue to do that, which I think that we will, then it's another yet slightly different thing. You know what I mean? So it's never going to replace in-person performances, but I do think that there's a new market that didn't exist before for this alternatively good, yet not the same experience of seeing our productions on a screen as opposed to coming in person.
Do you have any advice for anyone who's still kind of either stuck in a digital rut or they're just still really wary about going digital for their performances? Any advice for them?
Yeah, I would say, well, a couple things. One of the best things that we did was try and keep a lot of what we do in-house. So our artistic staff, our directors, our actors, the people employed by the American Shakespeare Center have the final say in how our productions are streamed and filmed. And I think that that is vital because, some people have had to turn to just hiring someone to come in and film it for them. And that's great. If you can film your production at all, that's a success. Congratulations. And I think that there is an artistry to how you film a production. And so even if it's a longer road to end up being able to film your show, I would say really just try and invest in keeping it all under your roof. When we filmed those 7 productions in 5 days, it was like anyone who had a camera that was in the area showed up. We didn't have cinema cameras. We didn't have the right gear. We just did it. And those productions were seen by thousands of people all over the world. So you don't need to have cinema quality and you don't need to have, the perfect sounding show in order to film it. So I would just say, just try it, just show up. It's a new art form. We're all figuring it out together. Nobody is an expert in it at this point. So yeah, I'm really proud that we've kept the artistic direction of how we're filming our things in-house. And I think that that's one of the best things that we've done. So I would just encourage people to really try and do that to the best of your ability, because, it allows us to have a say and artistically film and artistically stream our shows while working with outside professionals. We have professionals that come in and work with us, but we don't hire someone to come in and just point cameras at the stage. They are working with us. They are part of our team. And that's been a big part of our success, I think.
Yes, great. Before I let you go, is there anything else that you would like to tell the viewers at home about what y'all got going on?
I would just say that, we're really proud of the filming and streaming that we've done out of Stanton, Virginia. And so that's not going to stop. That's not going to stop anytime soon. This summer we offered people to come indoors, outdoors, or online, and we're hoping to continue to provide options. So it really is a great tangible way to support our theater and to support theaters in general. So to anyone who may have not seen a digital production, give it a try. It's a great way to support, and I think that you'll enjoy it maybe more than you think you will. So give it a try.
Yes, I love that. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking to me about this.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. Yay. Amazing. Have a great rest of your Sunday. All right. So before we sign off for today, I just wanted to let everyone know, in case y'all hadn't heard, that this is the last episode of season 1 of this show. Yes, this is the final of this season. We are coming back in late May, early April. But honestly, right now, we just don't have the time. We started this show back in August, 28 weeks ago, right after we had finished curating our yearly Shakespeare Festival. And since then, we have produced so many virtual shows. We are doing a bunch of short films as well, all safely, of course. But we're exhausted. We got a dog. We have all of these things that we didn't have at the start of our programming. And frankly, we just need like a month and a half to have some Sundays to ourselves a little bit. So that's just what's going to be happening. If you want to see me next week, please visit the link, the little link tree that I've got. It'll give you tickets to my upcoming my short play. Wow, this was strong. My upcoming short play at the Beeble Productions Short Play Festival Week 2. Yes, I had one in Week 1, but then a show dropped out of Week 2, so I also have one in Week 2. Same cast as Week 1, but we were doing an entirely different show. What's happening? Enjoy my Sundays, yes. Oh, your girl needs a nap. Yesterday, we not only did the matinee of Week 1 of the Players Theater shows, but I was also interviewing all of the shows in between each segment while they were also sanitizing the theater. So I was there the entire time. And then we went to a location, Acme Studios in Brooklyn, to film it as a short film. We got home after midnight. I'm super tired. But yes, also in my link tree, you will find the link to apply for the Down to Clown Festival. It will be a hybrid festival, meaning that we will have in-person performances, we will have virtual performances, we will have all kinds of things. So please don't feel discouraged if you are not in New York City. You can still be a part of the festival. Also, it's not just like clown. It's like if you're having a funny time, if you're a sad clown, anything like that, the clown's evil counterpart, a mime, you can absolutely submit. We will take all submissions into consideration. Don't you worry about a thing. Also, may I announce our big project in June that we got the rights for? We good to announce it? Since we have a theater in Brooklyn now, predominantly our productions were in Manhattan, and that really stymied us from getting the rights to certain productions that we really, really wanted to do, because a lot of them were held for being produced there because, like, what if Broadway wants to have a revival? What if Off-Broadway wants to do it? Like, we can't do it. Brooklyn apparently doesn't count. So we have officially gotten the rights to perform Noises Off in June, and it's going to be a wonderful, fun time. Bar Brunch will be back before that happens, so we will talk more about that then. But yes, we are planning a lot of things. We are in the process of rehearsing a lot of things. We're very tired. We need a couple weeks off, but we will be back. I promise you that. And thank you to all of our guests these past 28 weeks who have come on and talked to us about their shows and have promoted their projects. We love you all. We've seen so many of your projects that we're so happy that you not only decided to talk to us about them, but that you were creating work still in this weird time. But again, once more, thank you so much to Ben for the American Shakespeare Center for coming on for our final episode of season 1. Thank you all at home for watching. I am going to go cuddle with my dog out on my balcony and drink a lot of wine. Have a great day.